It's Bill Bennett's Morning in America. Live from the Bulova Studios, here's Bill.
We got somebody calling in I want to talk to in a sec. Dr. Rob Steele joins us from Michigan. He is a candidate for Congress. We had one of his opponents in the primary on yesterday, and we heard about Dr. Steele from one of our listeners, so here he is. Hi, Dr. Steele.
Good morning. Appreciate you having me on, and thanks for everything you've done over trying to tell people about what needs to happen in the world of education.
You're very welcome. Tell us what about your candidacy when you go out and talk. What do they rise to their feet for? What is it you say that really resonates? What is it that's at the top of their list of concerns?
Well, I'm interrupted by applause every time I talk about stopping wasteful spending.
Yeah.
Making Congress live by the laws they pass.
Yeah.
And having them read the bill and have it posted without change for 1 week.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of those they're basic. They're relatively nonpartisan. They should be completely nonpartisan, of course. And it just resonates with people. They want some transparency and accountability with what's going on, and they want to make sure that the financial plan run by the government isn't to max out the credit cards of the kids and grandkids that aren't even born yet.
Yeah. Tell us about yourself, Dr. Steele. Where'd you grow up, school, so on?
I grew up in a little town in western Michigan and went to public school there, and then went to the University of Michigan for a 6-year medical program where I got 2 degrees in 6 years. And now I'm an interventional cardiologist and helped start a practice that now has about 30-some cardiologists and about 300 employees. And I've been real involved in the running of that business. I'm the chair of the finance committee and been on the board forever and one of the senior guys. And so real familiar with what it takes to run a business and what kind of laws are out there and how difficult it is and the regulations, what you have to do to comply. And, of course, run all the benefits and all that sort of thing.
And you must get asked by audiences about health care.
Absolutely. When I was originally going to run for Congress, which came up about a year ago when it was first announced that Henry Waxman was going to challenge Congressman Dingell, I told my wife at that time, if Waxman wins, I'm in against Dingell. So I've never been involved in partisan politics ever before. In fact, I'm up north at Bay Harbor getting ready to walk into a Heritage Foundation event with Stephen Moore.
There you go.
My background is there. Been involved with Heritage since I was in my 20s, and so kind of had to get off the nonpartisan side, though. It's a great organization, but...
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think of politics after all that science?
Well, it's fairly insane when you're used to thinking rationally and logically about things and saying, here's the data and here's how we're going to act on the data because some issue's been proven and the outcome is known. A guy like me who's used to dealing with science and medicine and that sort of thing thinks, well, why would we not do that? And so, that's a bit of a challenge, and it's kind of crazy.
You know how long John Dingell's been in that seat?
Well, absolutely. He went into that seat in 1955.
My gosh.
And, of course, his dad was elected in 1932. And in reality, Congressman Dingell really hasn't lived in Michigan that much. Back in the 30s, of course, people weren't flying back and forth to Washington. So when he was 7 years old, he moved to Washington, D.C., went to Georgetown Prep, and then at age 12, he became a page in the U.S. House of Representatives and actually attended the U.S. House of Representatives High School. So the reality is that Congressman Dingell there at 84 has now been in the House of Representatives in one way or another since he was 12. So, we need to get rid of the career politicians. We see all the time now what common citizens fear their government instead of the government fearing their citizen. It's because these careerists who do anything that takes to get reelected. And that's, of course, where I'm different, not being a career politician and, in fact, making a sacrifice to go serve.
You bet.
I've got a career that I'm stepping away from briefly, and so my concern isn't to get reelected. My concern is to listen to this, the citizens and do the right thing.
What are you going to talk about today? Say hi to Steve Moore for us, by the way. What are you going to talk about today?
Well, he's just given a presentation about, some of the things that are going on today, right. And I think Matthew Spaulding's going to be there also.
Oh, Matt Spaulding, great.
Basic principles.
Great. Well, Dr. Steele, it's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you very much for calling and paying attention and listening to the show. We really appreciate it. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thanks so much. And just let everybody know here, my website, robsteeleforcongress.com. We're getting a lot of support throughout the country here. I've been on ricochet.com with Mark Stein, Rob Long, and Peter Robinson for 35 minutes. And
there you go. They let you talk?
Oh, yeah.
As they're talkers.
Well, Mark Stein's in and out of Michigan all the time at Hillsdale, and, of course, southeast Michigan is a disaster. We've not only got Congressman Dingell, now the longest-serving congressman in the United States. We have the second longest, which is John Conyers. And policies make a difference. Southeast Michigan and Detroit has collapsed over the last 20 years. It takes a while for these policies to kill everything.
Yep.
Policies do make a difference, and we're seeing it come to life here in Southeast Michigan right now. So we need to get some people who know what the solutions are and know how to create a job rather than take money from the citizens and burn it up in Washington.
Any indicators, any polling, any signs? What do you think?
Well, we haven't done any firm polling, but we do have lots of signs that our candidacy is being taken seriously by the other side, and, of course, we're getting tremendous support locally. And you know, the elections in Virginia and New Jersey were not a surprise to me at all in the office. I talk to people all day long, and so I have my own polling every single day, and those elections were no surprise. I hear that from the UAW workers who have all lost their jobs. There's fewer UAW workers in the United States today than there was in 1940 when I was 4 years old.
Yeah. Dr. Robert Steele, we have a link up to his website on BillBennett.com. Thank you very much, and good luck, Dr. Steele.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you very much. This happens on this show. We say we're looking for talent, so we hear about it. We heard from a listener yesterday about Dr. Steele. Before he called in, his opponent in the primary called in, a high school teacher, or eighth grade history teacher. And today the doc himself called in. So terrific. I think there's one more guy in that race, and if he wants to call in, we'll put him on. Oh, this is why you kind of avoid primaries. Impressive guy, though. Both impressive guys we talked to. All right, I want to go to